All right, let's talk about negative exponents. This is section 4.2 from the book. So we we informally validated that anything to zero power is 1 using this process. So let's do the same thing with negative exponents. Let's keep going down the list. So the other day, we started out with 2 to some power up. So let's say 2 cubed. We know that's 8, and if we in order to get to the fourth one, what you can do is just multiply 8 by 2, right? And then we get the next number in the sequence, which is 16, and then we can multiply by 2 again to get the next number in the sequence, which is 32, right? And so forth and so on. So we can also go backwards in the sequence by dividing by 2, right? So one way to get 2 squared, I know I can multiply 2 by 2, but if I take the previous power, 2 to the third, and divide by 2, then that gives me the same thing, which is 4, right? So 2 cubed divided by 2 would give me 2 squared. And the same thing, I can divide by 2 to get 2 to the first, which is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. I can divide by 2 again to get 2 to the 0 power, which is 1. All right. And then, so here's where we're getting a new territory. We stopped there before. Now let's just divide by 2 again. So 1 divided by 2 would be 1/2, right? So 2 to the negative first power is 1 over 2, right? Let's divide by 2 again. So 2 to the negative 2 power is 1 over 4, right? Okay, and let me just show you some work on that, just to remind you of the fractions, or fraction work. So if I have 1/2 divided by 2, I can think of 2 as 2 over 1, and when you divide fractions, you flip that guy and multiply, right? So flip this over, so or multiply by the reciprocal, right, of the second value that you're dividing. And so 1/2 multiplied by 1/2 is 1/4. All right, so dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2, right? We talked about that before. And so, so then if I divide by 2 again, I would get 1/4 times 1/2, which is 1/8. And then dividing by 2 again would get me 1/16, right? So if you notice, 2 to the negative first power is 1 over 2 to the positive first power. 2 to the negative second power is 1 over 2 to the second power, right? 1 over 4. So notice how those are the same. 2 to the negative third power is 1 over 2 to the third, right? So 1 over 8, well, this was 8, and so forth and so on, right? Okay, and so what do you think 2 to the negative fifth would be? It'd be 1 over 2 to the fifth, right? And we saw 2 to the fifth earlier is 32, so it'd be 1 over 32. So that's what negative exponents do, is they change the position of a number, right? They basically flip it. And so just notice here that negative exponents, we have all these negative exponents, but notice how many sign changes we have of these numbers here. None, right? Like these numbers are all, the base is positive 2, and all these results are positive, right? So negative exponents don't change the sign of the base. So here's the rule. If a non-zero real number, okay, so that's important. So in other words, we can't have 0 as a base. Otherwise, we'd be dividing by 0. And excuse me, n is a positive integer, then a to the negative n is 1 over a to the n, right? So if we have a negative exponent, then basically what we do is we like hot potato, drop it like it's hot, right? So that's what we're going to do when we have a negative exponent, is drop it. All right.